We are here in the place of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is the author of Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita. Mahaprabhu's principal biographer is taken to be Vrindavan Thakur, who wrote Chaitanya-bhagavata, originally it was called Chaitanya-mangal. And there, it's so beautiful, the pastimes that are described, and with particular emphasis upon what's called Adi-lila, the beginning pastimes. That means the birth of Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his childhood pastimes, his teenage pastimes, up to and including his marriage, and up to the age of 24 when he takes sannyas. So Mahaprabhu is in the world for 48 years, his manifest pastimes. This first 24 years described in Sri Chaitanya-bhagavata. And there we find Vrindavan Thakur, the author. He's known to be one of the, principal cowherd boy associates of Balaram, of Nityananda. So in his book, he is always emphasizing the glories of Nityananda Prabhu. And as Guru Maharaj would say, why this is essential? We'll go to Gurudev. We're here so close to the Radha Damodar temple, Jiva Goswami, where there's the Samadhi Mandir and Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswami. Gurudev would say, everyone knows that Srila Guru Maharaj is Rupa Goswami's man. He'd say it like that. And then he'd say, so why is he always saying, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, taking the name of Nityananda Prabhu? Because if we're to have a firm foundation in Krishna consciousness, it must be built upon the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. We're also want to praise Srila Raghunath Goswami, who we find in Charitamrita. There's so many obstacles on his path to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev until he gets the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. Then everything is open. The path to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu is swift and clear. So, in the Chaitanya-bhagavata, Vrindavan Thakur always emphasizing the glories and the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. And Guru Maharaj is saying, why? That way you have this foundation upon which the superstructure of Krishna conception can rest. Without that, whatever you build will fall down. It won't remain standing. So, all of the devotees, after the departure of Mahaprabhu, they're relishing hearing Sri Chaitanya-bhagavata, and particularly here in Vrindavan. And the main speaker who's singing Chaitanya-bhagavata every day is this Haridas Pandit. And it's described, his audience, they're all Mahabhagavatas, devotees of the highest order. So it said they appeared like so many stars, and he was like a moon within so many stars. And his recitation of Chaitanya-bhagavata was like a river of nectar descending from the moon, right, nourishing all the stars. That's how it's described. So how beautiful is that concept, and what is that river of nectar, the Gauranga of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So beautifully recorded there. But after the departure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from this plane, in Jagannath Puri, we told the other day at Lalita Kund about Swarup Damodar Goswami, Mahaprabhu Duteva Kalevar, Mahaprabhu the second, Mahaprabhu's double, Mahaprabhu's other self. So Raghunath Das Goswami and Swarup Damodar are the spiritual eyewitnesses to the most confidential pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Remember, Mahaprabhu put Raghunath Das Goswami under the care of Swarup Damodar, telling him, this is not a demotion, but rather what I don't know, he knows fully well. And that's a somewhat perplexing or bewildering thing to consider. Because when you say, what could be unknown to Mahaprabhu? What does he mean to say, what I don't know? Or is he just being nice? He's saying, what I don't know? It's earnest. He's saying, what I don't know, he knows fully. And then we say, how is that possible? In this way, that Krishna, he sees in his loving exchange with Srimati Radharani, he's saying, I am ecstasy personified. Right? Rasaraj, Akhila Rasamrita Murti, the Ananda Murti, Ananda Mayogi, I'm full of ecstasy and happiness. But it appears to me that in our loving exchange, that what Srimati Radharani is experiencing is 10 million times greater than what I'm experiencing. That's Krishna's estimation. Just think about it. His default mode is omniscience. So who is omniscient to the infinite degree? I cannot estimate the premasima, the limits, the heights of her love. And he's thinking that, but theoretically, I can understand what she's experiencing is 10 million times greater than what I experience. Think about this. He is Swayam Bhagavan, the supreme reality, and he's making this observation. And Rupa Goswami writes in his Chaitanya-bhagavata, Aparam kasyapi pranayi janavindasya kutuki rasostamam britva madhuram upabhoktam kamatiya rucham swam abhavre dutim iha karyam sat chaitanya devaskritir atitaram na kripayatu. That serving the billions and trillions of inconceivably beautiful Braja Gopis, one awakened a curiosity in Krishna. One stood out, one canceled all the others. We told Ramananda Sambhad, you minus one, and Krishna said, the whole experience has gone down. Right? He's become distracted. He's lost interest. How is that possible? It can only be that one, minus one, that she has qualities and characteristics that exceed the billions and trillions. So, like over here, Chandravali and Radharani, and of the two, it doesn't mean that she is marginally superior. But to this degree, she cancels a trillion of the most inconceivable, beautiful, charming Braja Gopis, right? Who are beyond the queens of Dwarka, beyond the Lakshmis of Vaikuntha. And what are they? They're all extensions and expansions from her. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavi Tabdir Eva Nijurupataya Kalavi. So Krishna, this observing her has awakened a curiosity within him, like, what is it like when she hears my name or the sound of my flute? I see these marvelous transformations. What is that she's experiencing? I can only understand it theoretically as Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is the Adi Purusha. right? The original male, the supreme enjoyer, that's his position. She is the supreme devotee. What she is experiencing can only be experienced from the position of a devotee. That's why when Krishna, when he comes as Mahaprabhu and he tells Raghunath Das, what I don't know, Swarup Damodar knows fully. Why? Because Swarup Damodar is Lalita Sakhi, Radharani's right arm assistant. She knows everything. And sometimes, even more than Radharani, in the sense, Radharani is lost in some divine madness. Swarup Damodar, Lalita Sakhi, maintains her composure so that she can assist by singing a particular song to amplify a sentiment, by quoting a particular verse to assuage the anguish of separation. She's the perfect attendant servitor and knows more. Radharani will ask, did I say something peculiar? Did I exhibit some peculiar behavior? Lalita Sakhi knows everything. Same thing with Mahaprabhu. He will later say to them, did I say something strange? Did I exhibit some peculiar behavior? Swarup Damodar knows everything. And Mahaprabhu said, that's why I want Raghunath Das, that you'll be with him. Then you'll be able to render the desired service. The service I want from you, you'll learn in connection with Swarup Damodar. So then Krishna, to experience such foundational slokas of Charitamrita, Sri Radhaya Mahima Kiddushovanaeva Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kiddushovanaeva Svadyo Yenamita. That Vanayeva means he wants to experience the type of love that Radharani alone possesses. What is that? Right? If we follow Rupa Goswami's sequence, we'll understand it is Mahabhav. And she is described as the Mahabhav Swarupini, Radha Thakurani. That Krishna wants to experience. And where does it reach its zenith point in expression? Is in the depths of separation, not in union. And as Srila Gurudev would remind us, Krishna knows everything about union. How can this not be understood about Mahaprabhu's pastimes? Krishna knows everything about union. He's not coming to think about that, right? But in separation, and the separation that she experiences, that he wants to know what happens to her heart, and the sort of ecstatic transformation that occurs when she's feeling the deepest separation from Krishna. That curiosity has been awakened in him. But this occurred simultaneously at the time when the yuga-avatar should descend. And what is the service of the yuga-avatar is to deliver Krishna-nam, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So on the one hand, and Guru Maharaj calls that public service. Like, that's the public service of when Mahaprabhu descends. Saying, but like any public servant, he also has a private life. And that there's another type of culture there. So this curiosity that has overwhelmed him in his heart coincides with the time for the descent of the Yuga Avatar. And simultaneously he says, what? I heard the plaintive calls of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is here serving the situation, what's happened in the Kali Yuga, and feeling some compassion for all the fallen humanity. So, Tulosi Dalamatrena, Jalasha Tulakena Va, with the palm full of Ganga Jal, Ganges water, and some Tulsi leaves. That's how he pulled Krishna down. Such is the power of Ganga and Tulsi. People and almost with, I think, an element of humor. He says, I was lying on Sheshai in the milk and I heard Advaita calling. Advaita Acharya. But we know further than that. But it's a way of referencing the descent of avatars. But it's sweet. And then I heard these calls of Advaita saying, like he has an excuse. Saying, please come down, save everyone. Oh, and it's the time for the yuga-avatar to give everyone Krishna-nam. What is Krishna-nam? Guru Maharaj describes in the Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram, Krishna-nama siddhu dhamma danya dana sagaram Prema Dhamma Deva Meva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. Krishna-nam is the siddhu dham. Siddhu means nectar, the abode of all nectarine substances. It is the greatest gift possible, Dan Sagar. Right? So he's come giving Krishna-nam to save all the people, that transcendental sound vibration form of the Lord that's non-different from the Supreme Lord. Bahiranga Sangi Kore, Naam Sankirtan. With his devotees, Swabhaktevya Sudham Nijabhajana Mudram Upadisham Sat Chaitanya Kame Punar Apidashor Yashati Padam. With his devotees and Sri Panchatattva, they're distributing the Krishna-nam, singing and dancing. As Guru Maharaj like to quote Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, saying, sometimes Guru Maharaj would just sit repeatedly going, Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar, and just say that over and over again. Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar. And then sometimes he'd like to say, as I mentioned to Radharani, her son, he would say, Nitai Gaur Gadadhar Advaita Srivas, Nitai Gaur Gadadhar Advaita Srivas, Mahaprabhu Gauranga Sundara Nagarabara Nityam Nijer Namabi. It's quoting Prabodhana. It's mixing with Guru Maharaj's own internal and seamlessly with Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur and other places, saying what? He is taking his own name and dancing. And we say, well, that sounds kind of egotistical. He's chanting his own name and saying how great, because Radha Baba Duti Subolita, as Radharani relishes the name of Krishna. In that regard, Srila Guru Maharaj said, he gave an example of voltage, right? So he's saying the voltage of Krishna-nam. Like here, I can just tell you one, in India, I do not advise messing with the electrical system to anybody. Right? We have to call somebody for that, right? Because of the voltage. And who is it? It has to be someone who knows how to handle high voltage. Otherwise, the unqualified dealing with high voltage, electrocution. Sorry to be so extreme, but maybe the extreme example is appropriate. But that said, so we could say there's Krishna-nam and the voltage of Krishna-nam. So Guru Maharaj said, what is the voltage and the Krishna-nam of Srimati Radharani when she's taking the name of Krishna? Or say, when Yashoda calls Krishna, what is the voltage of her Krishna-nam? How irresistibly drawn Krishna is to that thing. So Mahaprabhu, in the Radha Bhava Duti Sibolita, enveloped by the heart of Radharani, that he plundered, he stole from her. And what is that heart, as Guru said, Tunga Mani Mandire, is a lighthouse of Krishna Prem, radiating outward and doing what? Taking Shama Sundar Krishna, transforming him into Gauranga Sundar. Why is he golden? Because of the outcome of the heart of Srimati Radharani has transformed Krishna in this miraculous way. That's she. Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Rādhe Vṛndāvaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. So he descends as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to do his public service, distributing Krishna-nam, Nama Sankirtan, right? Nama Sankirtan, and then what? Antaranga Sangi Kori Rasa Ashwadha. When Advaita gives release, can we saying, what is the famous verse about the rice in the marketplace? You know, he's saying what the market is saturated. If we put it in modern terms, he's telling them, you've totally saturated the market. There's no more customers. Everyone has been flooded. Like Prabodhananda, Vanchi Tosmi, Vanchi Tosmi, Vanchi Tosmi na Sangshaya, Vishwam Gora Rase Magnam Sparshopi Mamanabhavat. He came, Vishwam Gora Rase, Gora Rasa, you know, Krishna Prema. He's flooded the world, Ex Bindu Jagat Dubai, a drop of this divine substance is capable of inundating everywhere. So in essence, Advaita is saying, you did the desired service. Now you are free for your private life, your internal culture. Because Mahaprabhu at that time, receiving this mystic poem from Advaita, turns to Swarup Damodar and said, what does this mean? He knows, Swarup Damodar is saying, I can't understand. Who can understand Advaita Acharya? He knows also what it means, but anything that even remotely hints at a time when Mahaprabhu will not be, he can't even remotely approach that. So I can't, I don't understand. Mahaprabhu says, I think I understand. And we see this in India sometimes. He said, I think Advaita is one of those persons who they manufacture a deity for a festival. And like we see in Bengal at the Pukur, they'll have like a Durga Devi, particular something. And then they have the festival, and then at the end, the deity goes into the pond. Yeah. And the elements go back to, don't get worried. But so Mahaprabhu in a little light way is saying, I think Advaita is like that. He summoned the deity. Who's the deity? Mahaprabhu. To do what? To inundate the world in Krishna prema. He's saying, now that he's finished with his deity, go in the pond. But really, it's the signal that now the time will come, he will go indoor in the Gambhira. And there he will be plunged in the association of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda, plunging the depths of Radhabhav and the heights of Krishna Prem 24 hours a day for the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes. And there is Swarup Damodar as the eyewitness and his assistant Krishnadas Goswami, and Swarup Damodar is writing notes. And Krishnadas Goswami has more expanded notes. Then Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar leave the world. This is unbearable to Krishnadas Goswami. As we hear in his Vilapa Kusamanjali, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mai Katanchit, Kalo Mayati Kamita Kila Sampratamhi, Kamche Kripamaya Vidasa Shinaiva Kimme, Prane Vrajena Chabori Bukarinapi. What Guru Maharaj is called direct prayer to Radharani. Remember, in Adi-lila, Mahaprabhu is in the position of Radharani. So he's saying, my whole life is an aspiration to serve your holy lotus feet. That's why I exist. if that opportunity or prospect has been taken away from me, then how shall I live? Why would I want to live? How can I go on? And so that pran is your life. And he says, and what's more valuable than my life is of no value to me. And he's saying, well, what could be more valuable than your own life? From a spiritual point of view, he's saying, Vrindavan, the soil of Vrindavan is more valuable than my own existence. Vrindavan is of no value to me without you. Radha, Padman, Kitadam, Vrindavan, Jaranam. Vrindavan proper is that Chinmoy soil that is embellished by the lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. And then he says, and in the language of Srila Guru Maharaj, he said, I know it is a shameless thing to say, but Krishna is of no use to me without you. Boror, Bakari means the killer of Baka. Like you think, without you, that the beauty and sweetness of Krishna is not, he's like that demon killer. He's killing one, Putana, Bakasura, Baki Bakanuja, Agasura, not the sweet, beautiful Krishna who, that's why in Bhagavan, who comes out only when he's at your side. So, such a fervent prayer he's describing. So now, Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar have left the world, and he's thinking, I will go to Govardhan and Radha Kunda and have the darshan there. The prayer of Das Goswami is Nija Nikata Nivasha Dehi Govardhanatvam. Govardhan, give me a little place nearby. That's his aspiration. He's the Prayojan Tattva Acharya of our line, indicating our ultimate aspiration is Radha Dasyam, that our superior servant, our Guru Varga, they live in Govardhan. As gopis there, they go to Kusum Sarovara, collect flowers in the morning, go serve the superior Guru Varga in Radha Kunda, then return and stay in Govardhan. So he's saying, I will go there, see Govardhan, Radha Kunda, and then throw myself from the Govardhan and finish this life, which is no longer of value to me. But then, arriving in Govardhan, he says, Rupa and Sanatan. And he's saying, oh, are Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar not before me as Rupa and Sanatan? So, he continues living. We know he's staying in Govardhan and Radha Kunda. Why? Because Srila Guru Maharaj does not approve of the casual taking of the name of Srimati Radharani, because in Radha Kunda, crawling on his hands and knees in that divine place, it's sung, Muke Radha Radha Bole, Veshe Nayanera Jale, Rādhe, Rādhe. It's Das Goswami who said Rādhe, Rādhe. And we're not to imitate Das Goswami. On his hands and knees, what did it say? With tears pouring down his eyes, drenching his clothes. That sort of intense devotional mood, inconceivable to us. How sacred is that soil? The northeast corner of Radha Kund, where the Samadhi Mandir of Raghunath Das Goswami and his Bhajan Kutir was. So, out of respect and deference to Das Goswami, we don't try to imitate that. Imitation is mockery. Imitation is suicide. And this month, Guru Maharaj said on Radhastami and at the time, then we can voice certain things, but not otherwise. So he's saying, if her name is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam, so cautiously, although the book is meant to take every sloka, every step of the way, it's meant to take us in the direction of the service of her holy lotus feet, but her name was not given. They just say, oh, the most fortunate gopi. Why? Two reasons. One, we're told, although the greatest sages from all the different systems, theistic systems from the universe, it's a mixed group. You know, there are varying qualifications. That's why they say, in the beginning you told us, Jugupsitam Dharmakate, that, you know, Narada chastised Vyas for doing what? Giving religion to the world. Right? That was his fault. And what did he mean? When he's saying, wait, the great Veda Vyas, Narada is saying, you gave religion, Prabhu, and look what happened. Meaning, why are people religious? For a successful material life, right? To live happily. He's saying that you didn't mean it, you didn't intend it that way, it's inadvertent, but in your name, they're being religious so that they can stay bound. It's the opposite of what you wanted. So you have to give the pure, full, what is Guru Maharaj, theistic conception of Krishna. And it can't be anyone else but you, because if it's someone else, the people will say, hey, are you a greater authority than Veda Vyas? I'm following Veda Vyas, and what are you saying? He's saying, so it can't be anyone but you who will do this service. And so, in the beginning, he's condemning him for giving Dharma Prodita Kaita Vocha. I'm saying this in a way to try and capture your attention. So those sages, when they hear about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, the Vraja Gopis, they're going like, Sujita, you said in the beginning about religion being the bad thing, and now you're telling us the new religion is these activities of Krishna with Radharani and Vraja Gopis. So what appears to be immoral, you're saying that's the real substance, right? And Guru Maharaj said it was one thing for them to be told, like, the supreme reality, the supreme being, the supreme entity is like a man. So, but to take it further and say, an immoral man, they're going, oh, this is too much. You know, we can't hear these things. Then he talks about Shiva drinking the ocean of poison, and what is it? The Ishwaras, the origin of do as I say, not as I do. Slok. And so I'm saying Mahadev can drink an ocean of poison and he becomes Nilkant. Right? If you drink a drop of that, you die. So these pastimes here, like, unless you're suffering from separation from Krishna, it will be like cobra venom, poisoned you. But like someone suffering from cobra venom, it'll be, what do you call it? The vaccine? What's the word?
Antidote.
Antidote. If you're feeling separation from Krishna, truly, then hearing about these divine pastimes will bring some relief to your heart, not awaken some lower tendency. The dhira, Vikrititam Brajabaduridam to Vishnu, Shradhanvato Anushrinayat Attavarnayedya, Bhakti Param Bhagavati Pratilabdhikamam Hridrogam, the heart disease. So that's what we're suffering from. What is that? To acquire, think we will find fulfillment by acquiring, controlling, and consuming that which is lower than us, as opposed to offering ourselves in dedication to that which is infinitely higher. So, because those sages were of varying levels of realization and capacity, he's concealing her name. That's one reason. Also, Sanatana Goswami Prabhu says in his Bhagavatamritam Tika that how sacred is the name of Srimati Radharani. If Sukadev will vibrate her name, it will ignite a fire of separation in his heart that is so intense, for all intents and purposes, he won't be able to go on talking or doing the seva of broadcasting the Bhagavatam. And not only her name, he doesn't mention the other gopis also, who they are, when they start saying different things and separation from Krishna. Bhakti Vinod Thakur and his Bhagavatarka Marichi Mala reveals their positions. So, why did I say this? Because, Raghunath Das Goswami taking the name of Radharani, crawling on his hands and knees in Radha Kund. At that time, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami becomes his servitor. And how perfect is that? So the full wealth of the internal reason for the descent of Mahaprabhu, previously unknown, unheard, inconceivable pastimes, were all transferred, the wealth of Swarup Damodar and Raghunath Das, to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Then, Das Goswami is leaving the world. Here's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He's now in his 80s, 90s years old. And those devotees who hear from Haridas Pandit, those Mahabhagavatas who love hearing about Mahaprabhu, they realize, Prabhu, these are pastimes that are unknown. We are all familiar with the Chaitanya-bhagavata. What you're describing is, as wonderful as it is, it's not there. These are unparalleled, nectarine descriptions of the internal reason for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We didn't know. We didn't understand this. Prabhu, please, you must write this for the posterity, the future generations, otherwise no one will know. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's so humble. Right? You see, the higher, right, they're so humble and thinking themselves so unqualified. He doesn't immediately say, oh, right, someone I'm doing. No, he's thinking, does the Lord want this? Should I really do this? He starts approaching all the senior devotees, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, Lokanath Goswami, getting their blessings and approval. And that Haridas Pandit, the speaker of the Chaitanya-bhagavata, that moon-like personality, rivers of nectar descending, and a star-like assembly of Mahabhagavatas, he encourages him and he goes before the deity, Madan Mohan, Madana Gopal, as you wish, and for some blessings, and the garland falls from the deity, and all the devotees realize the ultimate approval is there. They garland Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and what does he say after that? I'm blind. He's legally blind. He's in his late 90s. I'm arthritic. Right? And he's saying, and I am amazed at what my pen is writing. And he's saying, it is not I, but actually Madan Gopal, Madan Mohan, deity is writing this through me. That Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, this is his place. It's our inconceivable good fortune to come in the relativity of the proximity of his holy lotus feet, and still to be the beneficiaries of Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita to this day. And what did Guru Maharaj say? It is the greatest literature to have ever seen the light of day in all time, all space, and all creations. Hare Krishna. Jaya, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jaya. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj ki Jaya. Srila Bhakti Rakhat Sridhar Deva ki Jaya.
Maharaj, wonderful. Would you like to answer any questions? We don't want you to leave, Maharaj. Don't go.
I think we should sing one of his songs, like Jaya Rādhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vṛndāvan.
Maharaj, yeah.
Could you sing?
Yeah.
And you have some kartels, mridanga.
Explain the song, how it's Kaviraj Goswami's. He will sing, but you can explain the song we're about to sing.
Okay, so as Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami just mentioned, very famously, then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj composed Chaitanya-charitamrita, He also composed other books and
Govinda Lilamritam, I didn't mention that.
Govinda Lilamritam, and he also composed bhajan, songs. And this song is a song that we sing fairly regularly, and especially here in Vrindavan.
And at this time,
of Kartik month, then it is a wonderful song. Time, place, and the circumstance.
It names all the places that we're visiting.
And now, now after these days, some of these names you actually can relate to where you've been to.
Yeah. So, Keshi Gata, Bangshi Data, Bangshi Bata,
Dvadashasas. Well, we haven't visited all the forests. Well, step by step.
We haven't captured the whole of the infinite.
Not quite.
And there's there Mridanga Kirtans?
I think they were playing when we came in. So, yes, sir.
Okay. No, I want you to play, but you play Mridanga, right? Yeah, she is very good. Ekadashi.
How will you begin?
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan.
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 Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
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 Ramakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan.
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 Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan.
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 Eshigat Vansivat Dwadasakana.
Eshigat Vansivat Dwadasakana.
Eshigat Vansivat Dwadasakana.
Eshigat Vansivat Dwadasakana.
Gana Sovalila Koilo Sri Nandanandan.
Jaya Shobalila Koilo Sri Nandanandan.
Gana Sovalila Koilo Sri Nandanandan.
Jaya Shobalila Koilo Sri Nandanandan.
Sri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopalan.
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 Sri Damadi Jaya Jaya Denu Bhatsadan. Sri Damadi Jaya Jaya Denu Bhatsadan.
Sri Damadi Jaya Jaya Denu Bhatsagan.
Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Kirtida Sundari.
Jaya Krishnabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari.
Jaya Krishnabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari.
Jaya Krishnabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari.
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari.
Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavanama.
Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakra Bhakta Dvitaraj. Jan.
Jaya Vrindavan Bhakti Vrindavan.
Jai Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga.
Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga.
Jai Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga.
Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga.
Bhakti Tejanara Pailo Govinda Chara.
Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara.
Bhakti Tejanara Pailo Govinda Chara.
Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara.
Shri Radha Mandala Jai Jaya Radha Shyam.
Shri Radha Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam.
Shri Radha Mandala Jai Jaya Radha Shyam.
Shri Radha Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam.
Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora.
Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora.
Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora.
Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora.
Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa.
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 Bharatiya Bhave Jaha Rajate Prachar.
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 Janavapada Padma Koriya Smara.
Janavapada Padma Koriya Smara.
Janavapada Padma Koriya Smara.
Janavapada Padma Koriya Smara.
Dina Krishna Das Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Dina Krishnadas Kaviraj Naam Sankirtan.
Dina Krishna Das Kohe Nam Sankirtan.
Dina Krishnadas Kaviraj Naam Sankirtan.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Gaura Hari
Jaya Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki
Jaya.
Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita ki
Jaya.
Jaya Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ju ki
Jaya.
Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajaka Acharya Satara Sri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Govind Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jaya. Jaya Vishnupad Bhakti Rakab Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jaya. Bhagavan Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jaya. Jaya Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Rasa Bihari Ji ki Jaya. Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki Jaya. Sri Rupa and Guru Varga ki Jaya. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Jaya. Sri Krishna-Chaitanya-Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Acharya Sri Gauranga ki Jaya. Sri Radha Krishna Gauranga Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jaya. Vrindavan Dham ki Jaya. Sri Sevakunj ki Jaya. Navadip Dham ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya-bhagavata ki Jaya. Sri Govardhan ki Jaya. Gauranga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jaya. Om Vishnupad Vishva Vareni Srilesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jaya. Sri Chaitanya-bhagavata Acharya Vrinda ki Jaya. Jaya Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki Jaya. Jaya Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jaya. Jaya Srila Bhakti Bhimala Abhidut Maharaj ki Jaya. Jaya Srila Bhakti Prabhu Kirtan Maharaj ki Jaya. Jaya Sriman Devashis Prabhu ki Jaya. Nityananda Prabhu ki Jaya. Seva Vrinda ki Jaya. Krishna Kanti Didi ki Jaya. Seva Vrinda ki Bhakta Vrinda ki Jaya. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai Shri Bhakti Sudhi Goswami Maharaj ki. Nitai Go Premanande.
Jai Shri Bhakti Bhimala Abhidut Maharaj ki.
Jai.